welcome to the deep dive. So what we do here is take a whole stack of sources, articles, notes, research, you name it, and we pull out the key insights for you.
Right. Think of it as a shortcut, basically, getting you up to speed efficiently.
Exactly. And today, we are plunging into something pretty fundamental: diligence and hard work. We're looking at it through practical wisdom, but also some timeless spiritual ideas.
Yeah, and we'll be connecting the dots between, that classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and some maybe surprising echoes in the Bible.
So if you're someone who wants to grasp important stuff quickly, you like those aha moments, but maybe don't want to wade through tons of information.
Then this is definitely for you. We're kind of your guides through this material.
Our mission today, pretty straightforward. We want to unpack why diligence and hard work are just enduringly important for, meaningful success.
And pull out lessons you can actually use day to day, no matter where you are right now.
Okay, let's dive in.
So let's start with this core idea. Success, the kind that really lasts. It's usually not about, a sudden stroke of luck.
Right, it's more about consistent effort, putting in the time day after day.
Exactly. And what often separates people who achieve that lasting success from those who maybe don't? It comes down to specific ways of thinking, certain behaviors.
That makes me think immediately of Arcad, from The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, absolutely. Classic example.
Yeah, his story isn't like inheriting a bunch of money. It's about building it.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
Learning the ropes, working hard at his craft. He was a scribe.
Right, a scribe. And then consistently saving. That whole pay yourself first thing.
Crucial. And not just saving it, but then, putting it to work. Reinvesting wisely.
It really highlights that commitment, doesn't it? Sticking with solid principles, even when the payoff isn't, immediate. It wasn't just working hard.
No, it was working smart, too. And consistently. Over time.
Okay, so that's one angle. What's interesting is drawing a parallel to something quite different. The story of Nehemiah in the Bible.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating connection. Nehemiah, he wasn't exactly born into power or anything.
No, he was a cupbearer to the king, which, required trust, but it wasn't a high-status job in itself.
Right, but when he heard the news about Jerusalem, the walls were broken down, the city was vulnerable, his reaction wasn't just, oh, well, someone should fix that.
Not at all. He didn't wait. He, took it personally, took initiative.
It's such a powerful example of diligence in action, right? He starts with prayer, seeking guidance, but then he doesn't stop there. He makes a detailed plan, thinks through the logistics, the resources.
He really thought it through.
And then, this is key, he doesn't just, delegate it from afar. He goes there himself, leads the work on the ground.
Wow. That's real leadership. And it wasn't quick, was it?
No, definitely not a quick fix. It was this sustained effort, a campaign, really. And his personal dedication, his being there, it inspired other people to join in even when things got tough. Opposition, hardship.
They faced real obstacles.
They did. And that leads us to this really powerful verse, Nehemiah 4.6.
Okay.
It says, "So we rebuilt the wall till all of it reached half its height, for the people worked with all our heart."
Worked with all our heart. That says a lot.
It really does. It wasn't a miracle, it was people working together, united, persevering, giving it their all.
So it was actual labor planning, just sticking with it.
Exactly. Strategy and hard work, hand in hand.
It's amazing how much is packed into that one sentence. Yeah. And this idea, this emphasis on diligence, it's not just in Nehemiah, right? It pops up elsewhere in the Bible, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Take Proverbs 10.4.
Okay.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Pretty direct.
Yeah, especially thinking about, an agricultural society back then. You work the land, you get results. You don't. No, you don't.
Right. It's about actively doing the work, not neglecting things.
And then there's Colossians 3.23.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters.
That adds another layer, doesn't it? It's not just about pleasing your boss or, getting by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It elevates the work itself. It suggests approaching everything with that wholehearted effort, no matter the task. It becomes about, a higher purpose, internal motivation.
Right. Working from the inside out, kind of.
Yeah.
And Hebrews 6.12 adds something, too.
Yeah. Hebrews 6.12. Do not become sluggish, but imitate those who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Faith and patience. So diligence isn't just about the effort, but also sticking it out.
Exactly. It connects hard work with believing things will work out and having the patience, the endurance to see it through, because often the big goals, they take time.
Okay, so we have these powerful ideas from, ancient wisdom, scripture. How do we actually use this stuff today? What does being diligent look like now?
Well, I think one really practical thing is focusing on excellence. Just doing your best in whatever you're doing right now.
Even if it seems like a small job, or maybe not your dream job.
Especially then, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about that specific task. It's about building the habit, the characteristic of diligence. That's something you carry with you everywhere.
Okay, so it's about becoming a diligent person, not just doing a diligent job occasionally.
Precisely. And tied into that is being really wary of those get-rich-quick schemes.
Yes. The shortcuts.
Right. Our God didn't go for those, did he? He built steadily. Nehemiah didn't just snap his fingers and rebuild the wall.
No, lots of hard work there.
So our sources are pretty clear. Avoid shady stuff, gambling, trying to manipulate things for a quick win. Remember what our God said?
Something like, wealth that comes quickly goes quickly.
Exactly. Wealth that comes quickly often disappears just as fast because there's no real foundation there.
It really boils down to building things over time, doesn't it? Incrementally.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's finances, relationships, skills. Big achievements are usually the sum of lots of small, consistent actions.
Like budgeting regularly, saving consistently, exercising, learning new things.
Yep. It's that long obedience in the same direction, as some people call it, just steadily moving forward.
So the big principle isn't just like intense bursts of work, but sustained effort.
I think that's right. Our sources seem to say, look, external factors, even blessings, they matter. But we still have this basic responsibility to, apply ourselves, to do the work.
And maybe diligence itself is kind of an act of faith, like showing you believe that doing the right things consistently will eventually pay off.
That's a great way to put it. Believing that actions aligned with good principles will yield results.
So for you listening,
Yeah.
what are some concrete takeaways?
Okay. 1, try to do something every single day that moves you forward, even if it's small, financially, personally, relationally. Just one step.
Okay, daily forward motion. What else?
Approach your work, whatever it is, with purpose. Like you're doing it for something bigger than just a paycheck or recognition.
Work with heart, like Nehemiah's people.
Exactly. And also build resilience. Know that worthwhile things take time. There will be setbacks. Don't get easily discouraged.
Right, resist discouragement. And finally,
Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start now with what you have.
start now.
Huh?
Okay, let's try to make this even more real with some present-day examples.
Good idea.
Imagine, say, an entrepreneur starting a small online business, maybe.
Okay. And maybe growth is slow at first. Happens all the time.
Right, so diligence here looks like, what? Consistently marketing, maybe. Improving the product based on feedback.
Yeah. And providing really good customer service. Sticking with it even when it's not taking off immediately. That builds trust, loyalty over time.
Okay, or how about someone in a job that maybe they don't love it, it's not their passion?
Diligence there could just be showing up consistently, on time, contributing ideas when you can, doing your work with integrity.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It gets noticed, right, even if not immediately.
Often, yeah. It can lead to unexpected opportunities, good references. It builds your reputation.
What about, learning? Someone trying to learn a new skill, maybe personal finance or a trade.
Diligence there is just putting in the time, steadily, even when it feels slow, or maybe others are looking for easier ways.
Yeah, resisting the urge to just skim the surface.
Exactly. You're building real, lasting skills, a solid foundation. We see this too with, say, a single parent carefully budgeting, maybe cooking at home more to build financial security.
Right, small daily choices adding up.
Or a startup founder, grinding through those early days, learning constantly, treating those first few customers like gold.
Building that base.
And a recent graduate, maybe in an internship, really applying themselves, learning everything they can, they quickly become someone people want to hire.
These are great examples. They show it applies everywhere. Okay, but people listening might have some questions bubbling up.
Probably. Let's try to anticipate a few.
What about prayer? We mentioned Nehemiah praying. How does that fit with hard work? Is it one or the other?
That's a common one. But the examples we have, like Joseph in Egypt or Nehemiah, they suggest it's usually both.
Prayer and action.
Yeah, Joseph interpreted the dreams, right. But then he also helped implement a huge plan to save food. Nehemiah prayed, then he rolled up his sleeves and led the building project. Faith seems to guide and energize the action, not replace it.
Okay, so they work together. What about when you are being diligent, you're putting in the effort,
Yeah.
but you're just not seeing the results yet? It's easy
No.
to get discouraged then.
Absolutely. And that's tough. But I think it's crucial to remember that diligence always builds something, even if it's not the external result you see immediately.
What do you mean?
Well, you're building character. You're developing skills. You're fostering resilience just by sticking with it. Nehemiah didn't see the finished wall on day one, right?
Good point.
So sometimes you need to reconnect with your why. Why are you doing this in the first place? And trust that consistent, principled effort does compound, even if the timeline isn't what you hoped for.
Trust the process, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. How do you know if you're being truly diligent versus just busy? Running around doing lots of things, but not actually getting anywhere important.
The busy trap. Yeah. The key difference is focus and purpose.
Okay.
True diligence is effort directed towards results that actually matter to you, things aligned with your purpose, your values. Busyness can be scattered, reactive, just filling time.
So how do you check yourself?
Ask, is this activity really moving me closer to my important goals? Is it aligned with what I value? That kind of check-in can help make sure your effort is targeted, not just activity for activity's sake.
That's a really useful distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
maybe a question for you, the listener, to reflect on.
Yeah.
Where in your life have you maybe been tempted to take a shortcut to avoid the hard work needed?
Ooh, good question.
And following that, what's one small step, something you could do like today to recommit to that diligent, faithful effort in that area?
And seeking that mindset, there's even a kind of prayerful approach in our sources, like asking, Lord, give me a heart like Nehemiah, steadfast, focused, tireless. Help me value the work, even small beginnings. Let me act with integrity for lasting impact.
That's powerful. So some final thoughts to take away.
Yeah. Show up consistently. Do the work that matters.
Build solidly. Avoid those quick fixes that crumble.
And let your work ethic itself speak for you. Let it be a kind of witness to your values.
We also have that take-home challenge.
Right. Pick one area where you know you've been inconsistent. Maybe budgeting, exercise, learning, prayer, whatever it is for you.
Just one area.
Just one. And commit to taking one small positive action in that area every day for the next 7 days. Just see what happens. See if it builds momentum.
7 days. One small action daily.
I like it. Okay, so to sum up, our deep dive today really underscored that diligence and hard work, drawing from both practical wisdom and spiritual insights. They're fundamental.
Absolutely. They're the bedrock for lasting success, for real growth. We've seen how consistent effort, focus, perseverance, like with Arkad, like with Nehemiah, that's how meaningful things get built in all parts of life.
So really think about those reflection questions and maybe seriously consider that 7-day challenge.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Consider what might happen if you really embraced what we could call the Nehemiah resolve.
The Nehemiah resolve, meaning?
Meaning showing up every day, doing the work with purpose, with faith, with commitment, regardless of the obstacles. How could adopting that mindset fundamentally shift how you approach your goals, your challenges?
And what's just one small thing, one step you could take today that reflects that resolve?